guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gemma, or Gemma, or whatever you like to pronounce it. And today I'm going to talk to you about how to mix any color using just 4 paint tubes. Let's get this party started! Okay, these are the 4 colors we're going to be using. This is cyan, magenta and yellow. You might know it from CMYK, and the K stands for key, which means black. But you can mix a black from these 3, so we're not going to use those. And a white. The nice thing with this technique of using only these 4 is that you only need to buy 4 tubes, so it's way cheaper than if you have to buy all the colors. But it's of course nice to not have to mix them all the time, so that's why people do it sometimes. Or because they don't know. But you are gonna know, because you're watching this tutorial. They are the primary colors. In some schools they teach that it's blue, red and yellow. I also learned that, but it's just not true. You can't mix all the colors with them, especially purples. If you use red instead of magenta, you can't just make pretty purples with them. Then we just need to pick a color we're gonna match, and we can get started with the 3-step plan. Okay, the color I picked is this green. It's from this pencil, but I just put it here for reference, so you know which color I'm trying to mix. But it's not necessary to have that. You can also just do it from imagination, but it's also good for practicing if you do have it. So the first step is to determine the hue of your color. The hue means kind of which color it is, so if it's a red or a blue or a green or a purple, like that. And you're gonna need 2 of these. These 2 make greens, these 2 make purples, these 2 make reds. And since this is a green, I'm gonna put some yellow in here. And since blue is a really strong, much stronger color than the yellow, I'm gonna use just a tiny bit of it first. I'm gonna put a little bit more here. As you see, it already starts getting really green as soon as I add just a little bit of blue. I think it's just a bit more blue than this. Just gonna mix the whole bunch in. So now I add a lot more yellow, so I need to mix more blue in as well. Ooh, that's maybe a bit too much blue. Maybe it's alright. Let's just go with this for now. So you have to try to mix your green, and if you are just off, you can also add a bit later, because it's kind of hard to determine right now. Okay, next step. Step 2 is to find the saturation. Saturation is how colorful your color is. So if you have a very, very low saturation, you pretty much have only blacks and whites. And if you have a very high saturation, you have all the neon colors. This one is quite muted, so it's a bit darker. And so I have to edit the saturation. And you can do that by adding the 3rd color. Because so you mix 2 and you just add a tiny bit of the last one. This effect is often very strong, so be very careful with it. So I'm gonna just use the tip of this, mix it in. Already a bit darker. It needs to be even a little bit darker. If you mix all 3 of the colors, you get a black. And we don't want a black right now, so you should be a bit careful with how much we use. So this is starting to be really olive green. It's already quite nice. But there's still a final step. Let's go there. So the last step is to add white. This is already kind of the right lightness, because this step is to find the right brightness for your color. If you need to have a pastel color, you should add a lot of white, or better, like take a bit of white and add this to it instead of trying to, because white's really not a strong color. Because as you can see now, it's really pastel-y, but this is quite dark, so I think don't need it as much. Yeah, it was maybe even better first. It's very tiny differences. The color is pretty much alright now. So if you use watercolors, you can use water in this step. This is gouache paint, and you can also use it with water. So now it's really light. And if your color wasn't quite right yet, because maybe it was really dark or something, you can still add it a little bit by tweaking. But this is the general process. So the 3-step plan to mixing any color. I hope you learned something, and you can follow me on my Instagram for my art and weekly art tips. See you later.